A member of the Royal Navy has died after a helicopter crashed into the English Channel. The Merlin helicopter had been carrying a training exercise with HMS Queen Elizabeth off the coast of Dorset last night when it crashed into the sea, the Ministry of Defence has said. 3 members of crew are understood to have been in the helicopter. 2 were taken to hospital but did not suffer serious injuries. A Royal Navy spokesperson said, "It is with great sadness that we must report a member of the Royal Navy has died following a training incident last night. Our thoughts are with the family who have been informed and all those affected at this sad time. A full investigation will take place." The incident involved the Merlin Mark IV helicopter in the English Channel near Dorset that ditched while conducting nighttime flying exercises with HMS Queen Elizabeth. There were no other fatalities or serious injuries.
Well, this is very sad news. It's always bad when we lose somebody in peacetime, particularly in training. And I think what it reminds all of us is that military flying, particularly at sea, is not risk-free. I've had a career in naval aviation, and you're always flying fairly close to the edge. The conditions are normally marginal at sea. And of course, if the aircraft actually goes into the sea is in charge, and all sorts of things that can happen. And that includes death and injury to our service personnel. Well, a Merlin Mark IV is a troop-carrying helicopter that's normally associated with our commando forces. It's got a sister aircraft, which is an anti-submarine version as well, but this one is usually used for carrying troops. It's also used for training. And I think, from what I understand, this aircraft was operating as one of a pair, probably doing what we call bumps and grinds, takeoffs and landings to the deck. And unfortunately, there's been an accident or an incident associated with the aircraft that has meant that it's gone in the water. I should stress that all our aircrew undergo really rigorous training in the event of a helicopter having to ditch. For example, at Yeovilton, the Naval Air Base at Yeovilton, there's a thing called a dunker, where everybody every 2 years has to be inverted in a deep swimming pool in a helicopter type apparatus. You have to hold your breath for a long time. And you go through the motions of it, and nobody enjoys it. But we found out over time that that sort of thing saves lives. Well, I mean, Queen Elizabeth has a very large deck. It has very sophisticated control, air traffic and control arrangements. And from what I've heard, this is likely to be a flying accident rather than a ship accident. It's either going to be some form of aircrew error or some sort of mechanical failure. We don't know yet what's happened. The fact of life is the aircraft's gone into the sea. 2 crew members have survived, 1 hasn't, tragically. And I'm afraid that is the nature of business at sea. It's not risk-free. And certainly in my lifetime, I've lost a lot of colleagues at sea in similar circumstances. I think the first thing that will happen is they will seek to recover the aircraft. It's in comparatively shallow water, so it should be able to be picked up reasonably intact. So that'll give some indications about whether it's mechanical failure. They'll take statements from the surviving crew in a board of inquiry, and comparisons will be made to similar incidents in the past to see how it might have happened and how it can be avoided again in the future. I should stress that, in the last 20 years or so, military flying helicopters at sea has become so much safer, both in terms of the systems that keep the aircraft airborne and in terms of the training that we do in these circumstances. And this is a mercifully rare incident.